The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to RM Hive, and you're tuning in to Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. I'm your host, Revan, and today we have a very special guest. She is a retired physician who loves writing about current issues affecting medical professionals and their patients. Let's welcome author of Disrupted Physician, a case study in administrative abuse of authority, Anne Louise Phelan. Hi, Anne. Thanks for joining us
Hi.
here at Reader's Magnet. How
Well,
are you?
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm doing just fine.
hmm And for our viewers out here, we're actually going to talk about her book, The Disruptive Physician, and I'm so thrilled about it because it actually talks about issues about the administrative um, areas of the medicine. And I am actually have a background in pre-medicine, so I'm so interested in this. So, Miss Anne, what is the book about, and why do you believe it is relevant or timely?
Well, this book is about a colleague of mine, Dr. Michael Langan, who writes a blog
Mhm,
called disruptedphysician.blog. He sought help from
mhm,
his physician's health program when he was having trouble getting off
mhm,
of a medication called codeine. And
mhm,
the process should have taken about a week. And instead, it took
mhm,
over 5 years, and he ultimately lost his license. He was diagnosed with a
mhm,
condition he didn't even have, and was accused of being incompetent, basically. Um,
mhm,
I I felt that that was an outrageous miscarriage of justice. Hi,
mhm,
Walter.
mhm,
Cat. And being someone who is in the medical profession, also a good writer, I thought
mhm,
this is something I need to write about. And that's
mhm.
how it got started.
That's nice. So, this is actually a very serious issue within the medical field right now, especially in America as well. So, it's actually great that you're, for me personally, it's actually great that you're exposing this truth so the other people can actually know this. So, through the story of Dr. Michael Langan, you're actually letting us see what's inside this area in this institution. So what inspired or motivated you to write this book?
Well, I've always been very concerned about medical justice, and also I've always felt that everybody deserves to have quality medical care and also to be treated with
Mhm,
respect and compassion. And to
true.
find out that my colleagues were not being treated
Mhm,
with respect and compassion. In fact, some of them were driven to actually suicide. I was
mhm,
outraged. And I thought, I've got to
yeah.
do something about this. And um, since one of my strengths was writing, I thought
Mhm,
this is the vehicle I need to use to enlighten people
mhm,
about this. It's a travesty, really, and
yeah.
I'm trying to get the word out to my colleagues about the injustice here, and also to give them strategies for dealing with problems like psychological issues, and also if they
Mhm,
happen to get in trouble with their medical boards, to give them a guide to help them minimize the amount of distress and disruption it causes them.
yes. So so through Dr. Michael's story, we actually get to know, because I have read some of the samples of the book that I can see for now. And then I checked on Dr. Michael Langan's with that he actually has um to talk about something about medicine, and then there was this other person who's actually clashing with his ideas, that doesn't agree with him and uses that power to subdue
Yes.
him. Yes. And which is also true in all of the institutions right here, not only in the medical field, but also in other corporate companies as well. But this is actually so serious because the medical personnel right now are actually saving lives. That we're talking
Right,
about lives here. So it's
right.
not only Dr. Michael that's affected, but also for the other people as well who are in the field.
Yeah,
So
it's estimated that for every physician that leaves practice prematurely, they lose the 2,000 patients lose their primary
mhm,
care physician,
yeah,
and if it's a specialist, they may be taking care of 7,000 people. So a lot of
yes,
people lose health care if their doctor leaves the practice prematurely.
yeah, it actually affected a lot of people.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on the growing corruption and opportunism within America's medical boards? Because this remains a highly controversial issue today.
I think the problem originated when it became connected to money, and
Mhm,
that happened. Well, there are kind of two main tasks that it took. First, there are medical boards themselves who take on the job of um, credentialing people, giving them licenses, and also disciplining them, disciplining their licenses, revoking their licenses if they feel that it's necessary.
mhm,
But at some point in the last 20 years, medical boards became very closely aligned with the drug treatment and testing industry, which is very, well, it has a lot of money in it.
yeah,
I've, I've always noticed that what follows money is often corruption, and I think that's what
yeah,
happened in this case. That instead of really focusing on dangerous doctors, these
mhm,
medical boards and their physician health programs are focusing on the doctors that they can wring the most money out of.
mhm. That's actually so serious. Just all these other people are actually just having a goal for money and exchanging it for their oath of saving the people. Yeah. So, by the way, can you walk us through your professional journey and interests?
Well, yeah, sure. You might have noticed that I love animals. I had a
Yeah,
cat.
the cat is really cute, by the way. I was, yeah.
Yeah, yes. And I also was curious about science. And,
Hmm.
and I initially wanted to be a veterinarian, but that did not work out. And so I transferred into human medicine. I've had no regrets about that. Um, And
Hmm.
then I did a residency in family medicine, which is a primary care
Hmm.
specialty, where it has a lot of flexibility. And one of the things I've enjoyed about my practice is that I've done many different things in my work.
Hmm.
I've done everything from student health services to occupational health to emergency
Hmm.
medicine, and it's been quite exciting in that regard.
Yeah. Because I was also a former student of a pre-medicine. I was under. I actually took up biology when I was in college as well, and then I became a teacher. It doesn't my face doesn't look it, but I also became a teacher for pre-medicine, and my student already became a doctor in India, and his colleagues also actually faced some issues similar to Dr. Michael Langan. So I was also very interested in knowing about your book because I know a person who actually was also like you. He was also exposing the issues of this certain hospital through his
Right,
social media, and it actually helps. It actually helps because it's information and you're making it accessible for us. So thank you for that as well because the people doesn't know that we are all medical professionals who help people, but they don't know that there's also a dark side within that institution as well.
right, right.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I
And and
don't think people realize the stress that physicians are under and how that's getting
yeah.
worse as hospitals get bought up by private equity firms and how it
Mm-hmm,
becomes more complicated and more technological. And then we've had the pandemic to deal with. And
mm-hmm.
physicians are human, then they have their breaking
That's
points.
true,
And
true.
they may
I
need help
agree.
too. It would be wrong to
Mm-hmm,
make a physician force a physician to get treatment that's not right for him or her.
true. Yeah. And in conclusion, what are your final reflections on society and the practice of medicine today?
Well, as I said, physicians are under more stress today than they've ever been in the past, with the pandemic and loss of autonomy through corporate takeovers. There's
Mm-hmm.
always been medical malpractice, and now we've got problems
Yes.
with understaffing and worries about getting it reported to medical boards. And also right now we're realizing that there's not only an increased expense of medical school, but people may not be able to get enough loans to carry them through medical school. So
Yes.
we're going to have a sort
Mm-hmm.
of a capping of the pipeline of new physicians into
Mm-hmm.
the practice of medicine, and that's just going to make everything worse. So
Yes.
it's very
And
important.
pursuing medicine is not cheap. So
No, it's
yeah,
not cheap.
yeah.
No, not cheap,
True.
and it's not
True.
easy.
True.
And I think
Yeah.
every physician
So
is a vital resource for the rest of us.
yes. Mhm. So, right now, I'm going to give the floor to you, Anne. I would like you to promote your book and tell us where we can find it.
Okay, I'll give you a brief look at it. Here it is: The Disruptive
Yes.
Physician, a case study in administrative abuse of authority. And it's primarily about a colleague of mine who got swept up in his medical board's associated physician health program. He had a problem with an infection, and he became dependent on some pain medications he was given to treat the this
Mhm,
condition. So he went to his physician health services very naively, saying,
mhm,
"I'm having trouble getting off this drug. Can
mhm,
you help me?" And instead of helping him, they forced him into spending 90 days as an inpatient with the claim that he had
mhm,
alcohol use disorder when he never drank alcohol. Um,
mhm,
he then was put in a 5-year outpatient program. It was very expensive. His insurance didn't cover it. He was drug tested 2 or 3 times a week, and
mhm,
when it seemed like he finally had reached the point where he proved to them that he was competent and would go back to work without being supervised, they faked
mhm,
a positive alcohol test on him and gave him
mhm,
extra things that he had to do, extra, and 2 more years of monitoring. Eventually, they took his license, and at this point in time, it's been about 14 years since he's practiced medicine, and probably will never be able to practice medicine again. I don't want to see this happen to anybody else, but I know that it is
yeah,
happening. And they
yeah.
always say
It's
that forearmed is forewarned, and I want to forearm people in my field, and that would include not just physicians, but also residents, medical students,
yes.
and now also radiology techs, physician's assistants. They're all anybody that has to have a license to practice their field of medicine is at risk
Mhm,
of having exactly what happened to Michael happen to them as well. And if I can do
mhm,
anything to inform people of the risks and of uh, the, the hurdles that they will face if this happens to them, or if they get involved with their medical board or their physician health services, that they will kind of
Hmm.
have a better sense of what they should do to minimize the damage and maximize the
Yeah.
likelihood that they will continue to practice.
Yes. So what makes me really love this book is that there's actually it shows the darker side once again of the medical field, and the subject, my Dr. Michael, actually experienced a very horrible experiences there, and this book is actually showing us the darker side of medical field.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for
It's,
our audience out there, this is The Disrupted Physician by Anne Louise Phelan, available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So you can get the copy of this book on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And do you have other projects that we need to look forward to?
well, I think once this really gets off the ground and going, yeah, I definitely am going to start writing again. And I've published numerous articles about physician
Mm.
health and well-being and
Mhm.
issues, controversial issues like abortion rights and issues like that.
Yes.
So I think that that's what I'll be doing once this big project gets off the ground.
Yes. A very big project, and it's all worth it.
I
Yes.
hope
So
so.
it's been an awesome yeah, it is. It's been an awesome time with you, and thank you for joining us here today at featured author interview at
Thank
Reader's
you.
Magnet. So,
Thank you.
everyone, and Louise Phelan, get your copy of The Disrupted Physician, a case study in administrative abuse of authority on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And
And
once
I hope
again,
you
thank you
enjoy reading
for
it.
spending time with us. Yes, it
Thank
is an
you.
enjoyable read, and it is insightful as well. So, guys, let us open the pages and unravel the secrets of your personal odyssey. And I believe that your ink never runs dry. So go tell your story, storyteller. This is your host, Revan, and our guest, Anne Louise Phelan. And as we say it here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Stay awesome. Bye now.
Thank you.